It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. What does this mean to you? Can I say it again? It was the best of times. And it was the worst of times. Tell us what this means to you.
Thank you, Charlie. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. As you have just been told, this hasn't happened here, a project like this, since at least 1942, and to the best of my knowledge, 1935 actually, Patrick. So here is a first. I have been very excited about doing so-called an impromptu speech with no notice, no preparation, but I think I've been worried sick as well. I mean, if Charlie comes and tells me to talk about world economic crisis, I mean, that would be like Greek and double Dutch to me, because I employ a finance minister at home who looks after things like that, which includes things like politics, world politics. There's somebody employed at home, aka husband dear, who does all that. Luckily, Charlie's been kind to me. And Charlie, just once again, can you please read me that sentence?
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Okay. I know exactly what comes to my mind, ladies and gentlemen, when I think of it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was going back to the year 2000. We were a happily settled youngish family with young children living in Sussex. That's the point at which my husband was transferred to New York for a 3-year assignment. To have teenage children, it's a huge decision. Do you uproot everything and take them to New York? But there was no way I was going to miss this opportunity or let my family miss this opportunity. We upped ourselves with great excitement to go to the Big Apple. Opportunities galore, everything's waiting for you. And actually, it was wonderful. The children settled into the American system, but it was wonderful only for 8 months. Who would say that in 8 months' time, 9/11 would happen? My husband's office would come crumbling down, and he would only escape a major tragedy because he was at the GP that day having his fractured foot looked at once more before going back to work. A fabulous happy time suddenly became crumbled. The division closed, the job was no more. So what do you do? 8 months, new country, teenage children, new home. What do you do at that point? No job. It was not nice. So what was beautiful, what started off beautiful, what was not nice anymore? At that point, a few months later, he was relocated by his company back to come to London. My children were in American education at this point, and they are not little juggling balls that I can just bring them back here. They were well into the education system, so I ended up staying there for nearly 2 years on my own in a foreign land, raising 2 teenage children with my husband working here. I could be horribly upset because this was supposed to be the fun time of our lives, a foreign assignment, everything was good. Yes, it was very scary, but I wasn't stopping. The children were driving by then, and I got a life. I've done what I never did before. I joined music lessons, I joined art classes, I started understanding the American accent, I made lots of friends, and I drove all the routes of the US, everywhere. And before I knew it, I was having fun. So much fun that I got confused every time my husband visited. I mean, what do you do with this man now? He speaks in an English accent and he lives in England. What do you do with him? So through a very, very bad time, a very difficult time, when a whole family doesn't have an income anymore in a strange land, it was turned over. He was working here and I was having fun. I have come back with the best memories one can have crammed into a couple of years in living there, living in New York. So the children graduated American middle school, American high school, and I came out a much wiser person for having lived the life with Americans, learned their culture, and boy, we partied hard. Big cars, big spaces to park the cars, which was a bit of a shock after coming back to Sainsbury's and trying to get that. I still have that Hummer from America that David caught me trying to park the other day on the street. It's a left-hand drive Hummer, but I can gently park it, reverse park it outside the surgery in Alexandra Road if anybody knows it. And David is living proof of that. That was a job well done, yes, David?
Very well done.
And since then, he's decided to rejoin the club and come again and again and again because he knows the caliber of the people here. So what turned out to be a really challenging in more ways than one, and I think the tip of the iceberg is this job situation. Everything was a challenge, even paying the bills on time, writing the date the other way around. I learned everything, and I was one of them. But it was hard. It was very hard. The children did struggle with the American education system being that much older. And end of the day, I became like a single parent in a foreign country, living on my own, holding court there. And my husband was more so in home grounds, having fun, partying here with the likes of my friends Dinky and Abhishek there. And they'd phone me on speakerphone and tell me what a blast they were having. And I was like, okay. My memory today of that time is mixed. But I tend to stick to the beautiful time I had. I developed myself a lot. I went to so many different lessons, so many different occasions. I grabbed what was there in it for me. And today, those 2.5 years to me seems like a lifetime I spent there. We go back every year. I get into the car, I drive my left-hand drive, I'm confident, I love it. The people I met, the positive attitude they have, and how hardworking they are. I have come back with nothing but lovely memories because I chose to have today a selective memory, and I do not want to remember the negatives, and we are very lucky that we are all back here on safe grounds, and I am at Epsom Speakers Club.